Hi, Stephen. Lisa over at I Repair Devices. It is Saturday, November 17. It's about 1:15 Chicago time. Good news, I got your Bose system back up and running. Woohoo! So just like in the email that I wrote to you, that after any repair I do, regardless if it's the Bose, a drone, a laptop, MacBook, iPhone, tablet, I always create a quick video to the customer showing them that the repair was successful before I go ahead and get the unit packed up and shipped out to you. Once you view the video, then you can go ahead to the next step, which would be pay the invoice. Once the invoice payment has been cleared through PayPal, I ship out the product to you or ship out the package to you, and I provide you with a tracking number. Now, all my shipments, I always do signature required just because, well, I'm just trying to protect myself and you as well. And then unfortunately, just with the theft that does happen. So I just like to play safe. Sometimes it may be an inconvenience, but I just rather be safe than sorry. So let's get started here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to power up the unit. We're going to watch the startup phase. Then I'm going to insert 3 CDs in each of the drives. We're going to watch the drives, the CDs go in. And I'm going to go through and play each drive, just a track or two. I can't play them long due to copyright protection. And then we're going to watch each drive eject the CD. And what basically I'm just showing you is that one, we're not going to hear any chattering, no skipping. We're going to have audio output from both speakers because this plug-in down here actually controls your speaker output as well. So if a pin is broken, you're not going to get the proper audio out for the speakers. And two, it also recognizes the drive. So if one pin, each pin is configured differently, and if there's a broken pin on here, it's not going to recognize the drive either. So I just want to go through all the features here, and then I will explain to you at the end what was wrong with it, and then end the video. So let's get started here. So first, what I'm going to do is I always like to show you, if it pertains to the individual, that this is your unit here. So I'm going to show you the back of the unit, and you're going to see this is your serial number that's going to match your work order ticket there. All right, camera's focused on there. So next I'm going to power it up. Oh, this is my test housing here, so we're just going to bring this guy over, plug everything in. Okay, now during the startup phase, which I'm sure you're familiar with, you hear a bunch of clicking, and all that clicking is each of the drives contain an arm, and the arm just swings back and forth because there's some switches over here, and it's just a self-check saying, hey, good to go, click, click, goes down to the next one, click, click, good to go, goes down to the next one, click, click, good to go. And then at the end, you'll hear what's going, well, that's just the drive mechanism itself raising and lowering the worm gear screws. Again, it's a self-test just to make sure that there's no obstruction, and it's moving up and down with no issues whatsoever. So once the please wait message is gone from the screen, we can go ahead and insert 3 of the CDs here. So we're going to go 2, 3, and 4, and I'll turn it up a bit so you can hear it. All right, so the first one's put in.
What's up, dog?
Now let's go forward a couple of tracks. Like I said, I can't play them long. All right, so that's drive 2. Now we're going to go down to drive 3. The drive 2 is ejecting the CD. Drive 3 is pulling in the CD. It's spinning. We're not hearing any chattering. No skipping. And even if I mute it, I'm going to bring you up to closer to the unit. All you hear is just the light spinning of the motor, which is normal. You're going to always hear that, but no skipping, no chattering is going on whatsoever. So let's unmute it. Let's forward it a couple of tracks. All right, now let's go down to drive 4. And all the lights are working as they should be. Now, since I selected drive 4 green light is on, and then drives 2 and 3 go back to the normal amber color. Disc 4 is spinning. Track 1. Okay, let's go forward a couple of tracks. And stop. So all of them are playing. All the drives did play the CDs without any issues whatsoever. So now we're going to go through the process of ejecting each one. And because the fourth one was the last active one, that's going to be the first one to eject. So again, all you see is just the word ejecting, D4. Pull it out. Next up, it's going to be D2. And finally, D3. And there you have it. All CDs came out without any issues. And right now, it just gives you a normal no disc because there's nothing in any of the slots. So there you have it. It was a successful repair. Now, what was wrong with it was a couple of things, which the first one is very interesting. Inside the unit, there are 3 boards. One board is strictly the power supply board, and then one is the audio, radio, CPU board, and then there's one little tiny board up here, which basically is just for the controlling the lights on here that sync up with the main unit here. Well, the audio and CPU board, a couple of the capacitors were reversed, and the capacitors are the electrolytic capacitors, so there's a positive and a negative, and they were actually, again, I'm not sure if this unit was refurbished or the board was refurbished, but what it was doing, it was sending a mixed signal to the main unit, so it was almost like power cycling. It didn't know what to do because the current and voltage were just going back and forth. So I reversed them. And then also on drive 3, again, I don't know if you ever had these apart, where the CD slides in, there's like an arm that guides it in, all right? Well, this arm here was bent downward, so the CD was getting like snug, so when it would eject, that arm would get still stuck in a halfway point where the unit was still saying, is there something in here or not? Because I'm not fully open and I'm not fully closed. So I corrected that. And then I cleaned the lens itself. And lastly, the drive mechanism was off balance. And that's just normal. That does happen quite often because if you think about it, that drive mechanism is only going up and down on three worm gear screws, and over time, just going up and down, it does slip. So I just went through and realigned everything. As you can see, everything works perfectly. So I'm going to wrap up the video, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. If you have any questions, by all means, give me a call or email me. But like I said, this was a successful repair, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.